Yes, guys, hello and welcome back to another episode on the Spurs-related YouTube channel. I hope everyone is doing very, very well. Today, we have another live stream for you on the channel, and it's quite big news, actually. A very much a forward-facing interview by our newish Chief Executive Officer, VINAI. Has had a few bits and bobs to do with, speaking his voice about what is going on at Tottenham Hotspur post Daniel Levy's exit. So we will break that down for you. We'll be reacting. I've seen the interview. Frank hasn't. I'm sure a few of you haven't. We are going to put it on the screen to start things off in a couple of minutes' time. And I want all of your guys' reactions to it as well. So make sure if you're watching offline, I know a lot of you watch on repeat after the live stream. Comment your thoughts on it. Comment your thoughts on everything to do with what is being discussed. And as the numbers grow, you know the score, guys. You know what you got to do. We nearly got 100 likes last episode. I think we were 3 off. But if you could do the 3 magic favors, that is hitting that like button down below is free to do so. Turning on that notification bell as well to never miss us going live and never miss a offline upload as well. And of course, subscribe if you're new. We're on our way to 5,000 subscribers now, and we appreciate every single one of your help. But if you are watching on Twitter as well or Facebook, I can see there's already 50 or so of you over there. Please do come over to the YouTube channel, hit the subscription button, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell. But enough of the plugging. Thomas Frank's AI son is back with us today, of course, as always. Where else would he be? Frank, how are you doing, my friend? Are you excited to go through this one?
I am. Yeah, I'm all good. I'm a little bit disappointed by some of the news about us not maybe being sold. But yeah, we'll get into it. I won't go too mad too early. We'll get into it and yeah, hopefully it'll be good.
Early spoilers there, Frank, for the listeners. Absolutely disgraceful. But no, all good, mate. And guys, let us know, as I said, while we're watching this, what you think of it. I'm going to, in a minute, bring up some people in the chat, including the likes of Ghosted, who's in here saying, big up yourself, mate. Big up yourself. It's never a quiet day at Tottenham at the moment. It does very much feel like that at times. But yes, Frank, let's get into things. And then afterwards, we'll dissect some of the main quotes and the main talking points from the interview. And it's kind of gone from madness of transfers to madness about, what's going on off the pitch with Tottenham Hotspur. We were talking about on the pitch with all the signings and the signings that didn't happen, the signings that did happen. And now it's all about Daniel Levy's exit, who's now in charge, investment, and so on. So it's a very interesting time to be a Tottenham Hotspur fan. I think I'm feeling optimistic. I really am. But, time is going to tell. But guys, let's get into the interview. And big up Simon as well. If you are watching, guys, whack your comments in. You know the drill. But let's get up this interview, Frank. Let's pause it after a couple of minutes, maybe a minute, and we'll digest each point. Maybe feel free to pause it when you think it's a good time to discuss something. But I definitely have my thoughts on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put us in that mode like that. I think that's probably best. And let's have a look.
Let's do it.
Vinay, thanks for sitting down with us. I think it's fair to say one of the most significant periods in the recent history of the football club over the last few days. Can you just talk us through where we currently are?
Well, I think it's really fair to say that it was big news last week with the announcement on Thursday that Daniel is leaving the club. But what I would say is that the club is well organised for succession. So we have a very strong executive team in place. And whilst it might feel like a slightly strange thing to say to the external world, although it's big news, inside the club it really is business as usual. But I really wanted to start today by paying tribute to Daniel. I mean, what he has done at this football club over the last 25 years is extraordinary. He has played a huge part in the transformation of the club. And there are so many examples: the training centre, the stadium, the media centre that we're just sitting outside now. His contribution is there for all to see. And I think his legacy really is extraordinary. For me personally, obviously I was expecting that I was going to be working with Daniel for many years. It's ended up only being a few months, but he's been a wonderful support and counsel to me during that period, and I feel really settled in. And I think also at a time...
Pause. Straight away, Frank, I don't know if you agree with what I'm thinking here. So he just a minute. So he says, I thought I was only going to be working with Daniel. No, I thought I was going to be working with Daniel for a long time, but it only happened to be a few months. Do you believe that?
I think he probably knew this was coming at some point.
That's what I mean.
I think they all probably did. I mean, it feels very, very, listen, it's the first minute, and obviously he's going to talk about Daniel Levy. It just feels very, written down for scripted and whatever. As I mean, you kind of said beforehand, you felt a little bit it was, and it does just feel very like artificial. About how fantastic a guy he was, and I mean, let's not take the myth. They barely knew each other. Like VINAI took over in July.
No, don't be silly, mate. They go out for red wine together and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, maybe they knew each other before, but they, in terms of working together, Daniel Levy obviously left at the start of September, the very start of September, and VINAI joined the club in July. So in those 2 months, those full 2 months, I mean, maybe they're the equivalent of Ant and Dec in the sort of footballing world, and they're great pals, but it does feel a little bit. It feels very forced. I have to be honest.
Absolutely, guys. Let us know what you think. Do you think VINAI is telling the truth there? Do you think he saw that one? Didn't see that one coming? Anyway, let's carry on. Let's carry on. Before you do,
I'm like this. It's
two. Sorry, that's my bad. Two members in here. Lars Martin saying stage managed. Big up yourself, Lars. Ghosted saying this guy reminds me of Levy. Logan's in here saying good evening, hope you're both well. Can I just say I'm glad we rejected the Amanda Stabley approach. We'll get into things on that one as well. And Super Spurs TV, big up Blaine. He's saying big up guys with his little membership button. Of course, he's given a membership to 5 of you lucky people as well. Lars probably one of them, unless you, of course, bought your own. Lars, I honestly have a memory like a fish, so apologies if I did forget. But big up all of you and all your support. But let's get straight back into it, Frank, because I'll tell you what, there's a few more quotes that I want to pull up as well on this.
It's really natural to pause and look back and reflect, but I also know in my job it's really important to look forward. And this is a new era for the club under new leadership, completely backed by a majority shareholder, the Lewis family. So we can feel optimistic and ambitious for the future as well.
Can you just tell me about the foundations that the club have now to build from over the foreseeable future, but the foundations that Daniel has helped to create?
Sure. Listen, I think in terms of the foundations, and you've heard me talk a little bit about this before, I think, we've got an extraordinary stadium.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Yeah,
let's skip the advert.
1 second.
We're not ready yet.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
We've got an extraordinary training centre. I would admit I'm biased because I grew up in London. I think we're based in the best city in the world, and we've got a massive global fan base. We saw in May in Bilbao what that next step is. That next step is competing for and ultimately winning major trophies. We've had a taste of that. It's even better than you imagined. You realise the club is even bigger than you thought it was, and you're hungry for more. And that's what everybody associated with this football club is hungry for. More nights like that.
Yeah, all of us that had a taste of Bilbao very much got the taste for it now and want so much more. Can you tell me a little bit about what the family have said to you at the moment? What's been their messaging to you?
Well, first and foremost, I know the Lewis family really well. I think it's important for our supporters to know that they're very, very passionate about Tottenham Hotspur and they're ambitious for the club. And when I talk about their ambition, what they're really focused on is ensuring that everything that we do across the complete breadth of the club really centres back and is focused on giving our men's team and our women's team the best chance to be successful on the pitch over the long term. So that's their laser focus, all around being successful on the pitch. They know, of course, that we...
Pause. This is the other bit I wanted to bring up, Frank. So he said the thing... So one thing is, and by the way, whoever's in the chat talking about appearances and stuff, honestly, I really couldn't care what someone looks like. So just to clarify on that, I'm going to talk about the quotes from this interview, which is nothing to do with Amanda, whatever her name is anyway. So But just to bring up sort of that point there, Frank, he said that so firstly he's talking about ENIC and he's talking about Joe Lewis and the Lewis family having laser focus on the club as a whole, the men's team and the women's team, right? And let's got rid of him. And I find it incredible how that is the first time in 25 years we've had a forward-facing message from the Lewis family to say that is their main focus. Now, number one, we don't know that's fully true. Let's be honest. They're investors. They want to get the most out of the club. They want to make money. But number two, they have their sole focus is on the football club. Now, I don't think Joe Lewis really cares how Tottenham Hotspur perform. I think all he cares about is how much money we're making, how he can grow his capital, and how he can then sell on for more. That is what an investment is. They bought Tottenham Hotspur in around 2001 for about £75 million, which now looks like a penny in the ocean because Tottenham Hotspur now is worth £4 billion, right?
Same price as Dom Solanke, nearly, isn't it? 8 million off.
That's what I mean. So like, obviously, you know, in time, inflation happens, of course. But for me, is the main laser focus, as he said, the laser focus, is that really on the club, on the footballing side? Do we think? What do we think, chat? What do you think, Frank? You're on mute, mate. On mute.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I know I can be very negative and very pessimistic about quite a lot of this. I don't buy any of it. I really don't. The other day was obviously exciting because change can be exciting, and it felt like we were getting closer to a point we want to be at. I just don't buy it. I mean, it was. I don't get the idea that for 25 years the Lewis family have been reluctant to spend big money and compete at the top level financially, and now all of a sudden they think, do you know what, this is now's the time. I don't know. I don't see a world where this is the case. I think it's very easy to say this to probably try and get everyone on side with Charrington and with VINAI and whatever, and try and stop the protest for a little while. Maybe that's because something else is going on in the background. I know they keep saying it's not for sale, and we'll get onto that. But my hunch is that a lot of what they're saying right now is nonsense to quieten down for a while. Whether that is because they're selling it or whether that is because they just want to avoid noise for a while. I don't really know, but yeah, I'm very skeptical, I have to be honest, about kind of everything he's saying, the Lewis family are saying. We haven't heard from Peter Charrington yet, but you know, a lot of these guys at the helm of it, unless Thomas Frank says anything, I'm not buying a word of what really gets said just yet. Oh
yeah, for sure. A lot of this is PR. Like, don't forget, we've had numerous.
Sorry, this comment from Jack is kind of it, right? You know, if you're trying to, they're trying to sell a multi-billion-pound operation. If you turn around and go, it's for sale, the value does drop naturally a little bit. So, you know, just because they've told the media and they've told, you know, us that it's not for sale, I highly doubt they've gone to Amanda Stavley and gone, you are not having it. There is no way. Maybe they've turned down a first bid, or a second bid or whatever, but I don't believe that there is no way this club gets sold. So I'm a little bit skeptical of kind of this sort of middle ground that we're in now. Sorry.
Oh, for sure. This is very much a strategy play. Like, I don't think it's a secret that Tottenham Hotspur will sell the club within the next 2 or 3 years. I think you're right. I think them saying it's not for sale doesn't mean they're still not going to get bids. I think it means that you're gonna get bids that are even higher. I just think that a lot of this is, of course, polished. Of course, this is very much PR. And don't forget, even on yesterday, we had an announcement saying that the club essentially wasn't for sale. There was a press release on that. The club has tried so hard now to unite this fan base over Levy leaving, right? Like, it's like they've used that as they know it's the vast majority of fans wanted Daniel Levy to leave his position as chairman of the football club. And now they've sort of doubled down on that and said, look, actually, ENIC is good. Joe Lewis is good. Get behind us now, guys. Like, we're gonna change for the better. And in the background, they're probably dealing with bids, the stadium naming rights, the investment, and then they're going to try and crack on from there. I think I genuinely believe that is what is going to happen. A couple more comments. How many years till Spurs makes VINAI as bold as Levy? I'll tell you what, he's holding on for dear life there, bless him. Lars Martin saying, in a way, Levy was the buffer between the Lewis family and the supporters. I think will be more scrutiny on ENIC and the Lewis family going forward to deliver on their words. I think January is absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. Chan calls in here, big up. I think you're a new subscriber. Says, what makes it believable is that the children now have control and their father doesn't. The question is whether or not they actually spend the money to back up what they're saying. Absolutely. And Harmix in here saying, Stavely is a broker or hustler, not an investor as such. Oh. Absolutely, completely agree. And then the big, you can't even see us, the big boy super chat from Blaine. Big yourself up, mate. That is very, very generous. 10 pounds there. Big up yourself, mate. He's saying, for me, I think Levy Slice will be sold back to ENIC. That's the 29% that Levy owns. And that release of shares will be up for bidding, meaning that ENIC still don't need to pump their own money in and could even dilute the number of shares. Really interesting. I think Daniel Levy probably does want out on Tottenham now, considering he's not a part of it. He's not leading, decision making, and so therefore his investment is essentially out of his hands now. So I think for sure this is very much a possibility, Blaine. And big up yourself, mate. That's very much appreciated. Frank, anything to add on Blaine's point here?
Well, as on top of what you said about the generosity, because that's fantastic of you. I kind of agree, actually, to be honest. I think that's probably a pretty good point, and one maybe I hadn't thought about enough. I mean, I don't really see Daniel Levy sticking around for that long. I'd be surprised. I know he's obviously a contributor to ENIC, but I'd be surprised if he stays around at Tottenham in sort of any capacity. So I think that will be the case. But yeah, whether or not ENIC either keep those shares or then do allow them to go out to whoever. My guess will be is that Spurs will, and again, just a hunch, kind of link into this, that Spurs will be linked to they will get some form of takeover, and whether it be, I used Amanda Stavely's sort of Qatari consortium as an example, that they will buy 22% or 25% now, and that will grow to, in the next 5 years, they'll own 40% of it, and then in 10 years' time, it'll be a full sale or whatever. So it'll be a gradual thing. It's not they're going to come in and go, we're buying the whole thing. But that would be my guess. So I imagine Levy Slice, as Blaine says, Levy Slice will be, I imagine, distributed straight to a buyer of some sort, and then that will grow over time, would be my guess.
Interesting stuff. Big up, Blaine. Really appreciate it. You caused a talking point there as well, mate. That's what Super Jats are all about. And Ryan had his say here. It's Ryan TTV 001. Ryan TTV, I'd prefer 007 if I'm being honest. But he's saying Levy will wait for the big sale, not exit early. I think you also have a valid point there, Ryan. Good point. But yeah, thank you very much again, Blaine. That is very, very kind of you. Big up yourself, mate. And Spurs is very much for sale, says Kev, and they can't make him sell the share. That is very true. That is very true. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But guys, let's get back to the interview. How long have we got left, Frank? Five or so minutes. I'll try not to interrupt it as much. But guys, at any point, let us know what you're thinking on VINAI. Do you think it's PR scripted, or do you think there's a lot of truth in this? Let us know what you think in the live chat comments and offline, of course. Frank, ready to go again?
We operate in a very competitive environment, and that there are a number of other teams that have the exact same ambitions we have to compete to win the biggest trophies in the game. So we know it's not easy, and we know that there's hard work ahead, but that absolutely is the focus. They're also focused on stability. They know there's been lots of change at the club, and now it's time for some calm and for some stability. And finally, they believe and trust in the people that we have working in the organisation. So their model is all about empowering the people we have on the ground to deliver against the ambition they have, and of course the ambition that we all share.
So let's talk about the family. Who's been involved from?
Sorry. Just very quickly, the idea that the Lewis family's main thing is empowering the people and allowing them to operate in the best possible way is literally the complete opposite of everything they've done in the last 25 years. And this is kind of why I'm so skeptical of it, because if that was the case, then they wouldn't have given Jose Mourinho £86 million to spend his time at Tottenham, or they would have. Do you know what I mean? They would have. Allow these guys to really break the budgets and go, we're going to compete. But by saying, by doing that, you're not actually empowering the people and allowing them to operate to a significant level, because the ones who you should be empowering, the managers and the players, or certainly the managers and those that that needs resources, you're not actually giving them what they need. So kind of goes against everything that apparently they stand for. Sorry, just had to.
No, I agree. He's mentioned empowering twice now. I think he mentions it a third time in a minute. I mean, what does he even mean in this set? In a minute, you'll see that he mentions about Peter Charrington being his main job isn't day to day, but he's empowering the club. Like, what the hell does that mean? What does that mean? Sorry if I'm being too simple for this, but you'll hear it in a minute. It's absolute, like, it's waff. I'm sorry. Fair play for VINAI for coming out and giving us this more forward-facing interview, and not to absolutely pick him apart, but there is a lot of waffling in this. I'm going to be honest. Harmek saying, notice there's no thanks, Daniel. Pumping only 100 million into the club is not groundbreaking, says Darren. Big up, mate. I agree. Could mean maximising our players' potential on wages and players, says Jack. Agreed, Frank. It's BS. Bottom line, big difference between empowering and reckless trust. And Said was a singer back in the 80s who sang a song called Smooth Operator, which is what he is. I mean, honestly, I had a bingo card today, but Said and the 80s wasn't on it. But you never know what's going to happen in a Spurs-related live stream, do you? Jack saying, I wish I could stay on longer today, lads, but when is the next stream? You know the drill, mate. Turn on those notification bells. You'll never miss us going live, guys. And that's the same for all of you. The three magic. Jack's led me on to a little plug. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're turning on those notification bells down below, and make sure you're subscribing. If you are new, we're on the way to 5,000 subscribers, which is crazy support, guys. But yeah, we'll be live again tomorrow, more than likely, mate. It's what we kind of do at the moment. It's corporate speaking for no more micromanaging. Yeah, Chankle, fair play. But that can't be just someone's job. That must be just part of it, Anyway, Real Tummy's in here saying big up, guys, and it's pronounced Shadeh. See, I'm getting absolutely schooled today. But anyway, we continue. Let's see what else VINAI is saying.
Family so far.
Well, there's been a big focus on the club from the next generation of the family. And to talk you through the key people, so the first is Viv Lewis, who is a very regular attendee at Tottenham Hotspur games and also frequently joins us on pre-season tour. So she was with us this summer for the whole of our tour to Hong Kong and South Korea. And going forward around the club, you'll be seeing a bit more of her brother, Charlie, and also her son-in-law, Nick. And the thing that ties them all together is their passion for Tottenham Hotspur and their ambition for the club moving forward.
So let's talk about Peter Charrington and his role as well.
Sure. Well, Peter is not new to the board. He joined our board in March. He is a great guy, very personable, very experienced. We have a great relationship and we speak very, very frequently. I think it's probably important to say that he's going to be doing a different role to the role that Daniel did. So Daniel was executive chairman. So what that meant was Daniel was full-time and involved in the club on a day-to-day basis, where Peter's role is that he will be non-executive chairman. And that means he won't be involved in the club on a full-time basis, and he won't be involved in the club on a day-to-day basis. And his model is all around empowerment. He will be empowering us on the ground to get on with things. But of course, he will be leading the board and will be a very important part of the club going forward.
And what about for you personally? What does your role entail now?
Frank, can we just
I think it's fair to say
can we rewind just 10 seconds? This is the bit I mean. What does that sentence mean?
But of course, he will be leading the board and will be a very important part of the club going forward. Not on a full-time basis, and he won't be involved in the club on a day-to-day basis. And his model is all around empowerment. He will be empowering us on the ground to get on with things. But of course, he will be leading the board and will be a very important part of the club going forward.
Sorry. We've got to stop. Sorry. So he's not doing anything day-to-day, but he's going to be empowering us. So is he essentially a cheerleader? Like, what's he doing? Sorry, guys. What is Peter trying to do? For me, I'll tell you what it says. It says he's actually here to try and help sell the football club. We're obviously not going to say it in an interview now with you guys, but essentially Peter Charrington is very much a director of selling this football club into a new ownership. That for me is what he wants to say, but he's instead going, he's not doing anything day to day, but he's empowering us. Sorry, what? Am I going nuts, or have I taken it out of context? Like that's for me what it says. No,
I think it's just a fancy word for unemployed. To be brutally honest, I mean, I'm not really sure what the job is there. As you say, I mean, maybe he's just a cheerleader. I mean, I'm not. I think what you say is probably the likely scenario, that he's there. He was the head of Citibank, so he's obviously a financially intelligent guy. He will be there to, I think, sell. He will be there to sort of keep an eye on the pathway. They need someone in that role to keep an eye on the pathway. But the fact they haven't actually sort of have an out-and-out replacement suggests that probably things are changing. But yeah, I'm not really convinced that it's like in The Office when they got David Brent doing those doing the motivation courses. So that's the sort of vision I have of him.
No, listen, it sounded like I'm like absolutely crucifying VINAI here. I'm really not. I respect the interview, and I think it's interesting. We're not quite done yet, but I'm just saying some of the one-liners are like, mate, there's not much substance to that. I'd rather you didn't even talk about it. Like, Ryan's telling me I'm nuts, and to be honest, you're probably right, to be honest. But he's saying he will let them do their jobs and measure the output for the Lewis family. Yeah, that's fair. So he's used empowering 4 times already. Like, I mean, come on, like this is a little bit woolly. If you read between the lines, it's a little bit woolly. Charrington does own a raised eyebrow, though. Anyway, let's get back to it. We've got about 4 minutes left of it, guys. It is an interesting interview. Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
And what about for you personally? What does your role entail now?
Well, I think it's fair to say it's been a very, very busy 3 months. There's not been much in the way of weekends, evenings. Actually, there's not been much in the way of sleep. So it's been a very busy start. But everybody's been really welcoming inside and outside the club. Very warm, very welcoming. So I feel really, really settled in. I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to the challenge ahead. But
right, well, we're at an ad break apparently. Sorry, I'm just gonna. We're back. I can see it. Cool. I was just gonna before you play, Frank. I was just gonna say Darren's note here is actually really, really interesting. He's saying, "I'm worried that we are getting excited for no reason. We could be even worse. Our top players now might be easy to sell." That is a good point. Like, now you haven't got Daniel Levy, who's a very shrewd businessman. Are your top players now at more of a risk of being sold, especially with the idea that Levy would probably help keep a lot of these players through harsh negotiations? And you think about when Harry Kane wanted to leave, the gentleman's agreement between Man City and him, and then that didn't come off. He very much stood on business. Do you think that the likes of let's go with a couple of years time, Xavi Simons, Christian Romero, do you think they're more at risk without Daniel Levy?
I mean, you could argue so. I think on the flip side, though, you could also spin it and go, maybe because he won't be demanding 20 million quid for Basuma or Manuel Solomon, they might actually settle for 14 or whatever numbers. Do you know what I mean? They might actually sell some more players they need to sell. So I do agree with the point. I do get the point entirely, because, as you say, he's a shrewd businessman that wants to try and keep the better players at Tottenham that he has, obviously. But hopefully it might, on the flip side, as I say, actually work in our benefit. But I do agree with the idea that we are probably getting a little bit excited at the moment for what has been. Yeah, it's a massive moment that Daniel Levy has gone, and it's almost a bit like when you lose a monarch, right? This is something that very few Spurs fans, or not very few Spurs fans, but there'll be a lot of Spurs fans, I should say, that will only ever know Tottenham under Daniel Levy, right? I imagine. I mean, we're both in that bracket that only really ever know Tottenham. Daniel Levy's Tottenham, and that is that in itself. There's a lot of people that won't know any different, and so it's a massive change in that regard. But the actual change that has happened is still quite minimal in terms of ENIC still own the club, Daniel Levy still owns 29% of ENIC, and Peter Charrington's been there since March, and VINAI was coming in anyway. So what we knew 2 months ago, we've only lost one part of that. And yes,
Yeah.
it's a big part, but nothing in the background has actually changed. And so at the moment, there is certainly skepticism and certainly reason to be a little bit wary of getting too excited, I think.
I agree, mate. I really do agree. I think that was a really good point from Darren. I think also this point from Ryan about we need to get better at selling is also interesting, because he in a minute you'll hear Vinai, he actually mentions about selling players at the right time, and I'm glad they've said that and recognised that that has been an issue. I mean, we're sitting here on 8th of September with a week left of the Saudi and Turkish window, and we still haven't sold Bazuma. You know, he's clearly not in Thomas Frank's plans. He didn't put him into that Super Cup squad. So, like, again, we need to get better at selling players. That's for sure. But anyway, let's try and get the last 3 or 4 minutes out of this.
To be clear on is this is not just about me, and it's certainly not all about me. Everything that we achieve at the club will be part of a team, and I mean that. So naturally, I guess as chief executive, my name ends up in the media, and I end up sitting here and doing an interview with you. But we've got 800 people at the club, and we need everybody at the club pulling together to drive us forward. This is certainly not all about one person or a small group of people.
Yeah, the world of football moves so unbelievably quickly. Straight away, there was talk of a takeover.
Yes.
Can you just go into a little bit there about what the club stance is on that, and what is the response to that talk so far?
Yeah, I've seen that very quickly, as you say, there's been a lot of newspaper articles and a lot of media speculation around takeover. So I can be really clear on this. So the Lewis family are really clear. They see their involvement in Tottenham Hotspur being long-term, and they see their involvement continuing through the generations. We made a statement very late last night, and the statement, I hope, was unambiguously clear that Tottenham Hotspur is not for sale.
The natural progression for fans is that they will want to know, what does this mean in terms of investment into the team that will take the field, both on the men's and on the women's side as well? How does this affect our ability to invest in those sides?
Sure. So I need to try and answer your question without leading to a whole load of transfer war chest stories tomorrow. Listen, I think it is very fair to say that we have firm backing from the Lewis family against our ambitions to be successful on the pitch, both on the men's side and women's side. They know that's going to require investment, and we have their firm backing. But I would also say, like all other 20 Premier League clubs, we also need to make sure that we're also cognizant and aware of the financial fair play rules. And that means we need to continue to grow our revenues. We need to continue to develop players, both from the academy and young players that we buy. We need to make sure that we're selling players at the right time. And we also need to make sure that every time we're recruiting a player, we're making smart decisions, both from a sporting perspective and a financial perspective.
Sorry, just very quickly. It makes me laugh how there's just always a caveat with everything. Obviously, we don't hear from the top of the club very often, but there's always a but. There's always something that, just when it starts to sound positive, that, you know, the firm backing. I think, to be honest, I think the Lewis family have actually relatively firmly backed Tottenham in the last couple of years, in the last 5-10 years. And that's probably why we haven't gone on to achieve great things, because we've firmly backed them and not incredibly backed them, or sort of strongly backed them. But it does make me laugh that there's always a caveat. Like, you know, it's, we're going to spend all this money. And obviously he said he wants to be careful because of the war chest comments. And I actually quite like that. So it's quite good. But it's like, we're going to spend this money. We're going to invest, and we know what we need to get to the next level, and we're going to be there, blah, 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 blah. But we need to be sustainable. But we can't spend this much money. But we can't this. But we can. It's like, I want to develop players, of course I do, because that's the fun in it, right? I love having players like Lucas Bergvall, who I see a ceiling with. It's so exciting. But also, every once in a while, wouldn't it be nice to go and we're going to go and pick off a superstar? We're going to pick off Morgan Rogers or Savinho or one of these guys. And so I'm as much as I say that, yeah, I think what he said was sensible and right, and I'm not sort of arguing what he said. Just more, it makes me laugh that there's always a caveat. There's always a point that goes, you know, we are going to do this, but we're also going to miss out because of this. And it's like, it's quite disappointing. It's quite, as a fan, draining that every time there's a bit of positivity or a bit of excitement or a bit of this or that, it kind of feels like it gets shot down by just their unwillingness. And so that's why I'm a little bit sort of skeptical that things maybe won't change as much as maybe we think they will.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I guess take a lot of this with a pinch of salt is sort of how I'd probably summarize this. We need to sort the academy. The Champions League squad is a joke, says Ryan. And Ghosted said, I like this Frank bloke. He talks a lot of sense. Yeah, I picked him up. Thomas Frank's AI son. It's his inverted fullback version. And that is actually his name, by the way. Let's get. How long have we got there? 1 minute. Come on, Frank. We can surely not interrupt Vinai and let him get through it. I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you should. I've interrupted him 3 times.
If you don't do that because of how the financial regulations work, you can find yourself in a position where you've got money to spend, but the regulations don't allow you to spend it. So I guess to summarize, absolutely there's financial backing against the ambition we have. And like every other club in the Premier League, we need to do that in line with the financial fair play rules.
Take me into this next period of time. What comes next?
Listen, I think, as I said at the start, it is business as usual in many ways. When I joined, I talked about wanting to do 3 things. The first is doing everything I could to support our excellent technical teams on the ground, both on the men's side and the women's side, to give us the best chance to be successful on the pitch. That continues to be a focus. I said my second focus was going to be around our people at the football club, making sure that we're doing everything we can to empower them to be at their best, to drive the club forward, and have the best people with the best culture to deliver against our ambitions. And the third one, our relationship with our supporters, make sure that they're right behind us, make sure that they understand what we're trying to do, communicate better with our supporters, and ultimately make them proud of what their football club is trying to do and what our football club over time will deliver.
Is that it? That's it. I thought you skipped some then at the end. Oh,
Muted again. Can't stop. Yeah, no, that was it. That was it.
So, guys, what do you think? What do you make of the Vinai? What do you make of the Vinai interview there? There's a lot of interesting bits to pick out. We've picked out a few bits. Kev saying, "What the f is this Empower fella?" He mentions Empower 5 times, Frank.
I mean, it's. I just find it. I find it funny. As I say, but I get what he's probably doing, and that, as you say, they're trying to probably sell it, and he's. But it does just sound like a fancy word for actually doing nothing, doesn't it? Like,
yeah, it is like, let's hide what he's doing. He's just empowering. He's the one that's interested in edging towards and doing all that in the transfer. I mean, that's what his role is. It's much ado about nothing, says Harmick. For sure, but if we are dumb and just invest in huge salaries to whoever, then we could have issues. I agree. I like the targets from this summer. If you can't get in quality, then leave it. And exactly what I would expect from a CEO talking about a business publicly. Yeah, of course. A lot of this is published for the forward facing. We're very aware of that. It's just, let's dissect some of this now. So Ben Jacobs summarised it by saying that Vinai reiterates Spurs is not for sale and confirms Vivian and Charlie Lewis and Tavistock's Nick Boucher, who's that son-in-law he mentioned, are driving forces behind the club following Daniel Levy's departure. The club is well organised for succession. We have a very strong executive leadership team in place. Although it's big news externally that Levy's departed, inside the club, it's business as usual. Business as usual, Frank. Is that not? That's a bad thing, no?
Yeah. So another thing that's just sort of made me laugh as well, reading through that again, and I just had a Google. I've never in my life seen Charlie or Vivian Lewis. And I know that sounds like a really silly point, but I know they went on a high bit. They better go on all the pre-season tours, and I've just seen them. I think I might recognise Vivian Lewis, but these guys obviously aren't. Maybe my hunch is that they are still not football people. They are business people, which obviously makes sense them being at the top. Do they have experience or any knowledge of running a football club? I don't know, which is a concern in itself. And the fact that business as usual would suggest that nothing's actually going to change. So, yeah, I mean, I'll tell you something though, and that's just reminded me that comment there from Kev G. That Ange quote of the second season 3 is always better than season 2. I mean, it gets better every day, doesn't it? But there's all this has been the most incredible start to a season I think I've ever seen with Tottenham.
Yeah, I know. It's gearing up for another Amazon documentary, isn't it? I mean, it's Be a good Amazon year, wouldn't it? All the stuff going on behind the scenes. I'd love to see the moment they tell Daniel Levy he's stepping away. Although obviously I don't believe. I think that was in the running for a while. I think the whole thing about him getting told that morning is absolute nonsense from whoever started writing about that. You know, it just wouldn't have happened. Vivian runs Tavistock, a multi-billion-pound business, says Ryan. But it goes on to say that this is a new era for the club under new leadership. We saw him Bilbao. That's definitely how you spell Bilbao. No, we saw him Bilbao. Clearly, Ben Jacobs. He was not singing about Bilbao like we were. I've got it etched, sketched in my memory how to spell that word. I've got my radar on. But we saw in Bilbao what the next step is, competing for and ultimately winning major trophies. The Lewis family are very, very passionate about Tottenham. Do you reckon he got made to say very, very twice? What they are really focused. Go on.
Very quickly as well. Maybe Joe Lewis sits there, and I know he doesn't actually. He doesn't own the club anymore. But I imagine some of it still comes through him, and I imagine he still has a link, whilst not directly. Maybe he sits there and goes, you know, he's getting older. This is sort of a hell of a way to etch your name into it forever in a good way. Maybe they know they're going to be there for another 3 or 4 years as the owners. So maybe he's going to go. And I'm speaking out of complete hope here, but maybe he's just going to go, do you know what? Let's throw the fan at it and let's have fun. I mean, again, I think it's very unlikely, but it would be good, wouldn't it? Joe Lewis becomes a hero.
I mean, listen, I think the guy's like 80-something years old, and
Yeah,
I mean, exactly. He's probably got better things to worry about. I think he's probably genuinely not. I mean, the Lewis family may be very passionate about Tottenham, but I mean, where have we seen these people in the last 25 years is my question. What they're really focused on is giving our men's and women's teams the best chance of success on the pitch in the long term. That's their laser focus. Got a bit of Star Wars going on here as well. What else we got? Vinai's also said it's very fair to say that we have firm backing from the Lewis family when it comes to our ambitions to be successful on the pitch. That's basically the same one. Basically the same one there, Frank. But yeah, I think it's also interesting about Peter Charrington. He's saying going forward, you're also seeing a lot more of her brother Charlie and son-in-law Nick. We got that. And Peter Charrington is not new to the board. He joined in March. He's a great guy. He's very personable and experienced, and we have a great relationship. We speak very frequently. I don't even think we've seen Peter Charrington in any of these interviews or anything like that. So, I mean, we just seem to get the odd photo of him from the past. It's important to say he's going to do a very different role to Daniel Levy. He won't be involved in the club. This is the funny bit. On a full-time basis, his role about empowering us on the ground. He will be leading the board and be a very important part of the club going forward. I'm sorry, I'm going to double down on what I said. It's a bit wishy-washy, Frank. It really is. It's a bit like, you know, I think they're hiding something from us there. And fair play, you know, we're not going to know absolutely everything, are we? We're not going to know absolutely everything. Should we go off the Daniel Levy's and ownership stuff now? Shall we for a bit, or
just very quickly? Kind of what you were saying though. Just finishing up on that. It is a proper statement for a multi-billion-pound operation, right? That's the sort of statement that's come out. It is quite wishy-washy, and it doesn't actually have a lot that you go, oh yeah, I totally agree with what they've said, and that makes a great point. It's kind of all just very neutral on the fence because they don't want to upset people or get people too excited, as he said, with the war chest comments and things. But as you say, I mean, Peter Charrington, my money would be on we don't ever hear from Peter Charrington. Just because I don't think we will. It's obviously the VINAI and Thomas Frank are going to be the voice pieces of Tottenham now. And so my money is that we don't hear of Peter Charrington unless maybe we're losing at half time and he comes out to empower the lot of us. Then I don't think we're going to hear from him.
Yeah. Come on, and orchestrate an empowerment. Yeah, love it. Guys, let us know your concluding thoughts. I know a lot of you love to watch this on repeat, so let us know what your thoughts are on that VINAI interview. Obviously, we broke it down a little bit there for you guys, but get your comments in. If you're in the live chat still, please whack your comments in. Do me 3 massive favors, guys. We're not ending the stream just yet. We've got a couple more points to make, but please hit the like button. down below. It's free to do so. There's only 24 likes on this video. That is nuts. We should be getting to at least 50, 60 guys. So please make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you're turning on the notification bells. We're doing live streams and videos for you guys daily at the moment. So turn the notification bells on to never miss an upload, never miss a video. And of course, subscribe if you are new to the channel as well. And the other thing is, like very kindly Blaine did earlier, super chat options are available. It helps us upgrade our equipment, upgrade our cameras, upgrade. Frank's already got a nice little fancy mic on his collar there. I think I'm due an update that upgrade these things. I've really appreciated. So people like Blaine in the chat, very, very generous of you. And if you want to also become a member and come onto these live shows, in the top of the description and the join button, you can become a member for as little as £2 a month. You can come on these shows with the likes of Jack came on last week. He was absolutely brilliant. So please do make sure you're supporting the channel if you can financially. But if you can't financially, it's absolutely no problem. Just make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you turn on the notification bells and make sure you're subscribing. And the fourth one I would love you guys to do as well, and I'm going to be putting it in the live chat right now, is if you could all please click on this and go over to Frank's channel. We've got another 5 minutes, guys, so don't come off our video. But please go on to the live chat now and click on this link here. I haven't even checked if it's legit. Frank could have put me to like mini clip or something. I don't know. But click on that in the chat now, guys. I've just put it on 4 times, and go over and subscribe to Frank's channel. Frank, what are you going to be doing on your channel? And guys, please don't all click off the video yet. We're going to be going live for another 5-10 minutes, so please don't. But Frank, what else is coming up on your channel, mate?
So that link is to the latest video, which is one of Daniel Levy, which is a day or 2 back, and then the plan, which I've kind of formulated as much as possible, is this week I'm going to try and do a Xavi Simons one, a João Paulinho video, as well as a little preview for West Ham tactically. So hopefully 2 or 3 things in the next sort of couple of days. So it'd be much appreciated.
Love it, mate. And guys, go and please check out that. It's in the chat 4 times, please. Everyone offline, everyone live. Frank's on 280 subs. There is no reason why he can't get to 300 subs tonight. So please do hit the subscribe. All you do need to do is click that link, click subscribe, and come back on the live stream. Like, I don't even think it takes you off the live stream. So please do those 4 things for me. Go and subscribe to Frank. Please hit like. Please hit the noti bell. Please subscribe. But just finally, guys, good news in terms of Tottenham. That Radu, Dragusin, and Cuti Romero suspended. Romero got suspended from Argentina's second game, and Dragusin, of course, is coming back from injury. Have resumed training at Tottenham, according to Ali G. Ali G, you know what I mean? Alistair Gold. That's his shortened nickname for me. What do you think? Frank? It's good news, of course, with Romero. It's probably the best Romero / Argentina news we've ever had, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny though, isn't it? I mean, maybe he would have done. Maybe he did do this under Ange. I don't remember it happening under Ange. But when the reports came out that there were going to be protests and Romero was going to front them and everyone was going to fight when Thingy got sacked. And we're talking about Romero. I know he got suspended and obviously so had no reason to be there. But it's the fact he's actually come back and started training straight away is very, very good.
100%, mate. 100%. That's happy days, isn't it? I mean,
in addition, sorry, as well, there's a thing that's just come out a couple of minutes ago from Matt Law. So obviously take it with a pinch of salt because he's a Chelsea fan and quite often angry. So sorry, I've probably burnt the bridges of him ever coming on here, but he has said that members of the Lewis family are going to be at the game against West Ham on Saturday, which is the first time obviously since Daniel left. First game obviously since Daniel Levy left. But the first time that certainly. I mean, I don't know when the last time the Lewis family were there. I don't know if Joe Lewis will be there. I doubt that, but I imagine his kids will be there, which is quite interesting. Don't matter, but it's quite. I mean,
I'm sorry. I'm going to contradict you. I don't care who's there.
No,
Daniel Levy was at every single Tottenham game, pretty much, especially the home ones. Pretty much every single game.
That's one thing I'll give him. To be fair, is he did go everywhere, which is quite respectable to be fair.
That's what I mean, mate. Like he was loyal in that sense. So like, it's just so we're gonna see Joe Lewis's granddaughter or granddaughter. I'll be honest, I don't care. I'm sorry. I know that sounds really arrogant. But I just don't. I don't really care. Like, well, who cares? Like, what are they gonna do? Like, start doing backflips if we score? Like, what is that really news? Like, cheers, Matt Law. Thanks a lot, mate. I'm always keeping it real, guys. Always keeping it real. While I'm expecting Empower to be. I think that's just how we have to end this here. We have to end this here. All about empowering. But guys, that is everything. Hope you have enjoyed. Of course, please, as I said, I won't go through it again. We've already just spoken about it. Please make sure you're hitting the like. There's only 27 likes on the video. That's very, very low. Please make sure you're subscribing if you're new and turning on the notification bells. Frank and I will be back again tomorrow. That's what we do. So make sure you're sticking around on Spurs Related. You guys have been great in the comments. Thanks once again to Blaine for a very, very generous super chat. And thanks everyone in the chat, the likes of Ryan, Kev, Chankle that's been in it from the very start, Ghosted, just to mention a few, have been great tonight with the comments. Luke, Lars Martin, and Jack, of course, as well as Harmick. You guys are all getting a shout out tonight. Jack, everyone has been fantastic in the comments. Thanks also to the person we had to ban in the chat as well. Thanks also for your comments. But guys, really, really great stream today. We will see you again very soon on Spurs Related tomorrow for another stream, another video. Please make sure you stay with us. And remember, as always, come on, you Spurs! Come on.